Once again, coming to you live and direct. It's your boy C4 Suicide Bomb. Let me just start off by saying I'm not a terrorist, I'm a teacher. I'm not a violent person, I'm a peaceful person. What I want to talk about is, I want to talk about violence in the black community. That's what I want to talk about. And these days, I notice it seems like whenever there's an issue with black people, especially with the Mike Brown case, you talk about Mike Brown, people are quick to say, well, such and such a crimes are committed by black people. And, how come black people aren't upset that all these people are killing black people? And what about black people in their own community, all these guns and blah, 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 blah. Wanting to shift the blame back on us. Well, this is the question that I have. How do these guns, these military weapons, these assault rifles, continue to pour into our community in our neighborhoods? Can somebody answer that question for me? How is it that children who are not old enough to vote, not old enough to even buy a pack of cigarettes or a beer, have fully automatic assault rifles? How does this keep happening? It's been going on for years now. And nobody's figured out a way to stop it. The only solution they have came up with is longer jail sentences, longer prison terms, which doesn't solve the problem. It just gets us off the streets. I'm talking about a real solution to keep all these illegal firearms and weapons out of our community and our neighborhoods. How come nobody addresses that? Nobody talks about our children being able to access these type of military firearms, these semi-automatic handguns. Nobody wants to talk about that. How come no one wants to hold these gun manufacturers responsible? Which I think they should. There should be class action lawsuits, left and right, against these gun manufacturers, these gun stores, these suppliers of weapons, holding them responsible for their products that keep making their way into our community illegally and then in turn are used to murder our people. But nobody wants to do that. They want to pass the buck, which is common for any issue dealing with black people. How can an AK-47 come overseas all the way, end up in the hand of a child? You think it's an accident? You think that this happens by coincidence? No, it is a plan. It's part of a planned extermination. And like I say, nobody wants to offer a solution to stop this. The only thing they want to do is give us stiffer punishments and longer prison sentences so there'll be less of us on the street. Now, due to knowledge to that, the tobacco company, the cigarette companies were held accountable for their products, which kill millions. How come somebody can't hold these gun manufacturers accountable? How come somebody can't say, Smith & Wesson, you made this gun. How did it end up in the hands of a 13-year-old in Chicago? Of course, they're going to say, we're not responsible. The gun dealer is responsible. Then the gun dealer is going to say he's not responsible. Somebody needs to be held responsible and accountable for this flood of deadly weapons into our community. Now, talk about that. Next time you want to quote all your black and black crime statistics and what have you, and think about that fact. Ask yourself the question, where do these weapons come from? How do they keep getting in our hands? It's not an accident. And if you believe that it is, it's just some random, misfortunate turn of events, then you're a fool and you're dead in your mind mentally. You need to wake up. It's part of the plan. They can stop us from getting jobs. They can stop us from getting loans. They can stop us from getting good educations. But they can do nothing to stop the guns to keep coming in our community, right? The United States government, one of the most powerful, strongest, technologically advanced governments in the world, can do nothing to stop the flood of illegal firearms into the black community. You believe that if you want to, but I know better. I know better. This has been going on for years. And it's part of a plan. It is part of a self-continuing genocide that was set in motion and we're perpetuating upon ourselves. But like I said, there needs to be a movement. Start holding these gun manufacturers, start holding these people who make these guns, these companies, responsible for the bloodshed and death they cause in the community. Then you'll see a real change. You know, I don't know if that will ever happen, but it needs to be thought about. It really does, because as long as these weapons are available to poor people and people who can't get jobs and can't get an education and, you know, just feel depressed about their circumstances, feel like there's no escaping from their environment, they're going to use them. And in fact, if you put guns into hands of children, teenagers, all these young males, they will be used. The problem is, how do we stop them from getting in their hands? That's what I want to know. And I'm not saying let's give stiffer prison sentences. Let's create new laws. Let's crack down on guns. No, I'm saying, how come we cannot keep the guns out the hands of our children? Why? Somebody tell me that. Please, due to knowledge, wake up. C4, suicide bomber. I'm out.